and welcome back to In the Slant. My name is Brady. My co-hosts today, as usual, are Dustin, Alex, and Jared. I want to feel the vibes before we get straight into things. How are we feeling at the table right now? We're getting closer and closer to the NFL regular season.
I'm doing good.
It's sneaking up on us, man.
Like, I'm ready for the Raiders to win the whole Super Bowl next year.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
We'll celebrate when you guys win one game.
Yeah, that's not happening, Dustin. But before we get into today's video,
I heard Alex had to mention something.
Oh my God! All right, I'll just go ahead and say it because Brady was like, "No, we're not putting it." No, it's fine. I'm getting an apartment soon.
Congratulations.
So yes, it was
Congrats,
big.
Alex. Congrats.
That's not even funny, but it's an inside joke. Sorry. But before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you are new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. But today, since we're still kind of in the dead, of course, of the NFL offseason, we kind of knew that would be the case. As further we get along, but we're getting closer, as I mentioned earlier. Today, we're going to be doing our top 10 running backs going into this NFL season. And this is like projecting the predictions this year. So basically, it's going to be the overall impact of the running back. So not just like looking at rushing yards in totality, but like yards in general, you know, catching, everything that comes with being a running back in the league, not just running the damn ball. So there's not much else to get into other than just this top 10 running back list. So we're going to get
I will mention, I went into this just ranking the top 10 running backs. I didn't rank it going into this upcoming season.
I told you in the group
my
chat.
list still fits that, so I
Okay.
won't change it.
All right.
And also, this will be like a little bit of a fantasy advice for all you guys, all you fantasy players, to like see what we rank, see what running backs we think are going to go off this year, and that can also help.
If you want to take fantasy
I was about to
advice.
say,
Yeah.
I think we should listen to the person who won the league. You came in last, so
I did not.
nobody listened.
Who won your guys' league
It was
last year?
David.
David.
David won.
David
First,
Tran,
first
right?
year in there, bro.
First in the auto.
year we ever
He
played
did
with
simulation draft, or he just picked. He still
No,
picked.
no, he picked his own
Okay.
team.
I lost him.
Congrats
in
to
the
you,
finals.
David.
I
His
lost
team
him.
Wow.
in the
His team was like so
week
good.
6.
I
It was
lost
just
him in
His
the
running
well-rounded.
backs. His running backs were Josh Jacobs. Who else? He had two other elite running. Saquon.
Oh my God!
You made it to the finals, so you
And
won
then-
money.
Did he have McCaffrey too? No, there was some other running
I
back.
got
he had.
fourth.
Damn.
Brady beat me.
So you didn't get no bread?
Third place got bread, and me and Brady played final week, and I don't remember what happened, but Brady got the bread, and I didn't. I got fourth.
Yeah, I got third. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened. So
Well, I'm
I
joining
profited.
next year. What's
Yeah,
the
for sure.
buy-in?
We
80.
did 20 last year.
20?
Okay.
Okay.
Do 20 again, because it's more than 20, boy.
I'll say because I did 100 buy-in last year.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna go
Yeah.
that. We not high rollers over here.
Hey.
Yeah, but hey, the $20 league did make it a little bit more serious, but we still did have some.
It just makes it more incentive to compete.
There was a couple blocking matches on the side because of Dustin. The boys.
Because I was in another league and
Plus, last year we had a 12th guy that wasn't even active at all. So we're done with that.
we had a guy in my league. He wouldn't even set his lineup half the time.
Exactly.
It's like, and then he did set
Hey,
up his
free
lineup
money.
one week and he beat me.
That's annoying.
And what's crazy is his team wasn't like that great off the rip, but like, dude, he had the assets because a lot of his players late.
No,
were
his
going
wide receivers were good.
stacked,
really
yeah.
good.
He could have traded for a lot of things.
But let's get into it. Top 10. Who wants to go first? Name their 10th running back. I will say
going-
before we get
okay.
into this, I wrote down 23 running backs that I thought I could make a case for this year. So you can imagine I'm leaving some names off, and I feel terrible
Yeah.
about it. So my list probably sucks to most people.
Half of them were commander
Well,
players.
I-
Yeah,
Why-
no, it's not that.
Why,
But
why are we going from 10th up? Because I feel like when it gets more up, it's a lot more obvious. I feel like
No, I
I'm
want to go 10th up
yeah,
because
you
it's
can-
more
you go
juicy at
from
the bottom.
Top 10 lists, you always go from the
All
bottom.
right, well then I'll start with number 10.
Go ahead.
I'll go with the Wichita boy. I put Brees Hall at number 10. Just a guy that like he was getting so much usage when he was with them. I do expect the usage to go down with Aaron Rodgers at center now, but
At center.
I
At
mean,
quarterback.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
Under center,
yeah,
I got better.
okay. But so I expect him to get a little bit more usage, which might be good because his usage was crazy. That's why he got injured. So, but I think he could easily sip it as a top 10 running back this
Also,
year.
this is assuming no injuries, by the
Yes,
way.
exactly.
No
Because there
injuries.
have been so many bailouts, you could have said, well, he gets injured all the time, so I'm not.
Because
doing
that would have been a huge argument for
Yeah.
CMC, and CMC's got to be in your top 10.
Yeah.
But
Injuries and this upcoming season, we're
Yeah.
not factoring in what they've done the past 4 years, 5 years. No. So
I mean, it kind of plays a factor, but, you know. still.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones, number 10.
That's a good one. I
Man.
feel terrible because I left Aaron Jones off my
Me
list
too.
entirely, man. And it sucks to do that. There's just so many names. All right, I'm coming out hot with my first one. Are
All right,
you
let's
guys
hear
ready
it.
for this one?
Yeah.
It's going to be Austin Eckler.
It's not Austin Eckler. Bijan Robinson makes my top 10.
Oh,
Bijan
This
Robinson.
season.
Okay.
Arthur Smith loves to run the damn football. They drafted Bijan Robinson even though they didn't need a running back whatsoever. and it just feels like
Fresh legs as
yeah,
well.
It just feels like to me that Bijan Robinson is going to be an impactful player right away.
Brady
so.
also called that probably like a week or two. I feel like before the draft. That
No, I
he
was
could
saying-
see the Falcons doing that.
Yeah,
like, drafting.
Arthur Smith, man, he's in love with running the football. So that's I think Bijan Robinson, even though it sucks to leave a lot of names off for him, I just have a feeling that he's going to be an impactful player right away with just how the Falcons operate their offense. So
Okay. Man, it's crazy because Dusto, I guess we were thinking the same thing. Brees Hall's at my 10. I think arguably he could have led the league last year in rushing if he never got hurt.
But that's also because his usage was through the roof.
Yeah, and I mean, he can catch the ball. His IQ's out of the roof. He has breakaway speed. He has all the intangibles to be a top 10 back
And
for sure.
like Alex was saying, like besides the injury, like just not even just because he's a Wichita boy, but like
Bro.
he literally was gonna be like the #1 running back if he kept up those stats and stayed
didn't
healthy.
he lead the league?
He
for,
was
lead-
for
he
was
like 4
leading-
weeks, even when he was injured.
He was
Yeah.
leading the league when he got hurt.
yeah.
He had like 700 yards,
Yeah.
800
He was going
yards
crazy.
before he got hurt.
Brees
So-
Hall was going stupid crazy.
and if you ask, like, if you even go on ESPN, they're talking about Brees Hall
Yeah.
all day of the week. You know what I'm saying? So, all right.
Ready to get to number 9?
Oh yeah, I forgot that Jared went. I was for some reason I thought we skipped
I'm
Jared.
making a
but-
switch real quick.
Okay, so my number 9 spot, another young running back. We're going to Kenneth Walker at my number 9 spot. Just a guy that he is a little dual threat, but he is a little bit more run heavy. But
Downhill runner.
yeah,
for
but
sure.
he is a guy that you think so wasn't put up those stats. Yet you can be a little bit scared that the Seahawks are going to be a little bit pass happy, which will make him get a little bit less. But I feel like that would just keep him a little bit more healthy, a little bit more ready to go. And I feel like all the plays he does make are going to be pretty solid plays, at least like 6 yards this year averaging. I think that's easily for him.
For my argument for Kenneth Walker not making my top 10 is because they drafted a running back early this year as well. And I don't know how to say his last name.
Zach Evans?
No, Zach
Oh.
Charbonnet or something like that.
Okay,
I don't know how to
who
say
that
his
is.
last name, but I don't know if they plan on using him a little bit more too.
Out of A&M? Where was he from?
I think he went to K-State, but don't quote me on that. I could be
Okay.
totally wrong and way off. I just remember Seattle drafted running back early in the draft, so it kind of surprised me. That's why I couldn't put in Kenneth
But
Walker
I think
in
he
my top
got
10.
injured a little bit, so maybe they just.
Maybe.
Hmm.
But go ahead, Jared, with your number 9.
Well, you guys already mentioned him. Brees Hall.
Yeah.
Hall.
Number 9.
Number 9 for me is Brees Hall as well. These guys already laid out the
Yeah.
facts for you. There's not much else I need to say. I think Brees Hall's usage will go down compared to last year, but he should still be in the top 10, if not making it the top 5 if we, get anything similar to what he did last year.
Oof. Like I said to them before this started, my bottom 4 is kind of like interchangeable. I'm kind of winging it just because it's so tough for me. But I'm going to go ahead and go at 9. Who am I think is too low? I got Tony Pollard at 9. I think his production is going to go up. He's not splitting carries. He obviously set the tone last year in the offense. He's versatility. He can catch the ball. He can run the ball. Obviously, we're not counting in the injury factor because he can get injured pretty easily, especially he did down the stretch. I think it was his ankle he hurt last year.
Yeah,
But-
nasty tackle at the end of the year.
Just the way he runs, just so explosive, so elusive. That's why Tony Pollard's at my 9. So
I'll just start with my 8, and I'm not really going to say much because Alex just mentioned him. My number 8 was Tony Pollard. All the facts that Alex just mentioned, you can go, Jared.
Woo! All right. I got 8. I got Dalvin Cook.
See,
listen.
Oh, shit!
okay,
me
the
and
only
Brady
thing about
discussed
this is
Dalvin Cook. Is
he's
the
not on a
team?
team.
He's not on a
I
team.
know. You gotta
Not
let
on
me
team.
finish. That's the only sticky situation, which is why I was going to choose another running back.
I fucking forgot about Dalvin Cook.
dude, okay, here's the thing. I didn't put him on my list either because he's not on a roster right now. It sounds like he's eventually going to end up in Miami, right? That's the favorite right now.
New England. No, they got Ramondre Stevenson, but still.
Yeah. So Dalvin Cook, as much as I didn't put him on here because of the fact he's not on a roster, if he eventually gets rostered, then obviously Dalvin Cook is.
Yeah,
is a
for sure on the
name,
list.
for
But
sure.
listen, this is why I had Lions running back. Gibbs, sorry. Reason is that because they have David Montgomery still, but they drafted him in the first round, so I'm assuming
Wait, you have Lions? Wait, what's going on?
Wait, what?
Gibbs. I said since Dalvin Cook
Oh,
is not on the
Jamar
team,
Gibbs.
I had exchanged him with Gibbs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they had drafted in the first round.
So
I'm-
you're putting Jamar Gibbs instead of Dalvin Cook?
No, I'm keeping them both. Just because Dalvin Cook is not on the team.
Wait,
So Jamar Gibbs is going to be the next guy. Is basically
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm saying Dalvin Cook is at 8, but since he's not at a team, I switched him with Gibbs. But Cook is still on my list.
Okay.
It's pretty much 2 and 8.
Okay, I guess you're bending the rules a little bit.
Well,
Jared.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Rules are
Jamar
meant to, rules
Gibbs
are meant
at
to be
8
broken.
though?
I couldn't put Jamar. I couldn't even put any Lions running backs on the board for me,
Yeah.
just because I don't know how they're going to use Montgomery and Gibbs together. So, but it's not a terrible take. I could see it. obviously.
Montgomery's gonna be Jameis Williams, all right?
The Jamal
Jamal
Williams
Williams.
last year. Okay,
Yeah, or Jamal Williams, yeah.
I could see that. Number 8. I feel like this guy kind of soured last year. He's still only 27 years old. Just recently got in trouble. Like I said, his impact towards the end of the year kind of slowed down a little bit. I assume he bounces back a little bit this year. I have Alvin Kamara at my number 8.
Okay, yeah.
I
I
thought
left him
about
out.
leaving him off,
I
but
left
like
him out.
I could see a world where you leave him off just because like the end of last year was a little disappointing for him. But the talent's there, and I assume he'll bounce back this year.
Even with Jamal Williams in the mix.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna affect too much.
Unfortunately,
because it's like a scenario with him and
Mark
Mark
Ingram.
Ingram.
Yeah.
unfortunately, I did leave him out of my list. Even though you know me, I love Alvin Kamara, but with just last year towards the stretch, I had him. Dude was throwing,
Yeah,
so
he was kinda-
it kind of pissed me off. But I've always been an Alvin Kamara believer, and I always usually trade for him if I don't have him. But I just had to leave him in my top 10 for now, even though he is definitely one of the best dual threats. Probably, in my opinion, the second best one after CMC. So, but I mean, we just have to see, and he has a new quarterback in Derek Carr. So, it
Listen,
wouldn't be.
I want to ask Alex and Brady something real quick.
Go ahead.
You guys discussed your guys' list before this or what?
No.
No,
No.
uh,
Where was
he-
Dalvin Cook brought up then?
No, he asked.
Oh, we brought up Dalvin Cook.
He asked me about Dalvin Cook, where to put him. I was like, or something like that. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly what he said, but I was like, I don't even have him because he's not on a roster right now. But that was about it. We didn't.
Fair
like,
enough.
We didn't
Yeah.
go. What's your top 10 right now?
Yeah, no.
Guys traded phones and just.
We're like, let's not be far off from each other. Okay, so at my 8, we're at 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I got Aaron Jones at my 8. In terms of production, was still very high. Yes, he didn't have a lot of touchdowns. He still had 1,121 yards, 5.3 yards a carry. He still had 395 receiving yards, 6.7 yards per reception. I still think he's going to be a highly productive back this upcoming season. I think they're going to lean on him a little more as well because Aaron Rodgers is gone and the receiving core is so young. They got to kind of get a taste of what Jordan Love can do. I think they're going to be using him a lot out of the backfield, a lot in the slot, a lot of like jet sweep type action, a lot of sweeps. So I got Aaron Jones at my 8. So
I like it.
Respect.
All right, I'll go for my number 7. This guy is definitely a solid running back, but he did have some injuries last year and did have some games where he looked mad. But I'm going Jonathan Taylor.
I knew it. I knew that's who you were
It's
talking about.
literally easy.
That's my 7 as well.
That is mine too.
Because
Literally.
let me just explain another reason why. I feel like when you were playing the Colts before, you knew that it was mostly going to Jonathan Taylor because all their quarterbacks were fucking dog shit. But even if he can't throw well at the beginning of the season, Anthony, but I feel like he can still bait it out, like make it look like he's gonna go run. Like he had no mobile quarterbacks to like open up the field a little bit more, but I feel like the field's gonna be a little bit more open. You're gonna see Jonathan Taylor maybe not go for like crazy yards like he did the first 2 seasons, but still put up a solid season and like have a little bit more yards like per play.
that's
Yes.
actually really good.
If
points.
if you drafted Jonathan Taylor last year, you were pissed because
Yeah.
he was the 1-1 in most leagues. Some people still took McCaffrey, and you probably feel really good about yourself if you did. Because Jonathan Taylor was looked at. I mean, I know the guy who drafted Jonathan Taylor in our league was very unhappy with him. But yeah, so I'm assuming he bounces back this year. 7 feels kind of low for the kind of for the kind of productivity he can put on the field, but just based off the disappointing season of last year, got him at 7.
all you got him at 7.
All of us
Oh
had him.
gosh,
Yeah.
I feel, okay. I'm gonna be real. I'm the odd duck out. I don't have him in my top 10. I would put him at like top 12, top 13. I still think he can do what he has done in the past, especially with the points Dustin just made about Anthony Richardson opening up the field quite a bit. But at my 7, I do have Dalvin Cook. There's just no way I can leave him off. I have picked him up in fantasy 2 years in a row. He hasn't disappointed. Maybe we're not going to see the 2020 Dalvin Cook that we did see. I still see a scenario where he does go to Miami. He's going to be a high productive running back for them. I do believe he's still in the top 10, regardless of him not being on a team right now. It's hard for me to leave out Dalvin Cook just because I'm such a Dalvin Cook believer, and I've been watching him since Florida State days. So, yeah.
But can I say one thing about the whole Dalvin Cook to Miami thing is that Miami's running backs are still not even that bad, so I feel like that's
Raheem
gonna help.
Mostert, and who else do they have?
Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, Jeff Wilson.
I think it's going to
Didn't they
give him.
draft a running back too, if I'm not
I-
mistaken?
Might have.
That's why when everyone keeps saying he's going to Miami, he's going to Miami, he's going to Miami, I was like, it's so hard for me to see him going to Miami.
But Patriots is not realistic for me either. So I don't even know where he would go.
Yeah, I don't know. Where he's going.
I just can't leave Dalvin out, man. Especially like last year, he was having big.
Plus,
I think his.
Ezekiel Elliott hasn't been picked up yet.
No, man, he's
Let's not worry
he's
about
a backup.
Hold on, let me before we move on. Dalvin Cook, his longest. I mean, I know we're not really factoring in last year. He had an 81-yard run last year, like one of the longest runs last year by a running back. His breakaway speed is just phenomenal. He can just cut so good. I just can't leave him out, but Dalvin Cook's at my 7. So
Respect.
6.
All right.
I want to kick it off with 6.
Go ahead. Oh, I
Josh
already know who he's
Jacobs.
putting
Josh
out.
Jacobs is at my
That evil laugh
6.
told me who he was.
Joker smile. You know who the villain is. Okay.
Well, I got something coming for him real quick.
Okay. Yeah, I bet. Oh, I bet. So, Josh Jacobs is at my 6.
And 6 for you, Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
Okay. All right. That's respect. Josh Jacobs is at my 6. His last year was phenomenal. Walk-off game-winning 86-yard run against the Seattle Seahawks. Phenomenal. I just want to see Josh Jacobs do that again. You know what I'm saying? He did it once, and I love Josh Jacobs because in college he didn't have a high-producing numbers. He played very well, obviously, but he's a fresh body. He's not beat down. He's not like Jonathan Taylor who ran the ball 700-800 times while he was in college. You know what I'm saying? So I got Josh Jacobs at 6. It's no disrespect to Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is a phenomenal football player, but he's at my 6.
I got Barkley at 6. I really wanted him to squeeze him in top 5. Honestly, I'll go to the debate who my next player is. That's who the debate was, if Barkley made top 5 or not. But I really do want to pick Barkley at 5, but I just can't.
Disrespect.
So.
I can
But
understand why.
I just think he's gonna have a solid season again.
Mhm.
I really feel like you have to see Daniel Jones produce a little bit more. So I feel like that could take a little bit away from Barkley because I'm automatically just assuming he's going back to them. There's no question in my mind.
yeah.
So I just feel like he's gonna produce like the same numbers. Like easily could be the 5th spot, a top 5 running back for me. But
For sure.
he just barely missed it because the next player I'll talk about.
For sure.
Who's your 6, Jared?
Barkley as well.
Barkley?
Okay.
Mine's Nick Chubb.
Whoa!
Okay,
Whoa!
I don't know
Yo!
about that.
Okay,
Why is
let me,
Nick Chubb
before
your-
Brady goes on his tangent, I can kind of understand why, because when you think of Nick Chubb, you're not seeing him as a CMC and Eckler, you know, out of the backfield catching the ball a bunch. But go ahead, Brady.
No, hold
No,
on.
I mean, you kind of.
I kind of hit the point.
You kind of already hit the
There you
point.
go.
Nick Chubb is one of the best downhead runners in the
Oh, I
NFL.
agree.
He's the most
This dude
physical
should
runner
be in
in
top
my opinion.
3 in your list, no doubt about it. He don't even have Kareem Hunt right now, so who knows what they're gonna look like next year with just him running.
Yeah, you're right.
You know,
I don't
that's
know.
just my opinion.
I get it. But
Yeah,
Brady,
it's tough. Nick Chubb, no disrespect to him at all. I didn't want to leave him off the list at all because he's one of the better running backs in the league, and I guess it just for me, and it's not even a good argument to be honest with you. That I guess what Alex just said.
I want
that,
to
like,
see who you have in front of him now.
it's crazy. I like how we're all like varying, you know?
It's
like,
not
like
honestly.
we're.
You could convince me that Chubb should be higher. I just had to throw him in there at least. Like I thought there would be a world where someone left him off. So
Listen,
I
oh,
guess
no,
I-
if anybody
dude.
left him off, you got to
You're
get flamed.
tripping. Okay, if anyone out in this world left Nick Chubb off your top 10, you are smoking crack.
What
I
makes you
deserve-
sad now is knowing that Brady probably has
You
Derrick
are
Henry in
smoking
front of Nick Chubb.
that-
All right,
yeah,
so
I deserve
I'll
all
go-
the smoke in the world for
All
that
right,
one.
so I was about to wait for Alex. I forgot he already said Josh Jacobs, which I can't disrespect because
Real-
I could.
real quick,
I get
Dustin,
his reasoning was
If your number 5 is it a Chargers running back or no?
no.
Okay.
My
I mean, it's
number
pretty obvious, but I just wanted to make sure.
my number 5 is the king himself, Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Main reason is he's just getting up there in age. I feel like with the Titans, you need to see them be more pass happy. You need, like, as a fan base, you want a quarterback. You have to let someone throw. I think you're gonna see a lot more throws. So I think his stats are gonna go down a little bit, but he's still the king. He's still gonna get all of it. He's definitely the best. Like he doesn't really catch much, but he breaks everything.
And
his
He
stiff
came
arms-
off that ankle injury and still had 1,500
Yeah.
Listen, I just pulled up his stats.
Yeah.
The reason I kind of disagree with that is because he produces nonstop. Now, imagine if he did have the ability to catch the ball more better, like Austin Eckler and these guys. This dude would be killing on the field. But to just straight run, get 1,500 yards, and then 2020 he had 2,000 yards as well. That's just crazy.
Yeah, I had my doubts about Derrick Henry last year, and he shut me up. So
I think we all
wasn't-
did because we all missed him in the draft.
Yeah, I
And
mean, that first 3-4
I had a chance to
games were
draft him,
tough.
and I passed
Yeah.
on him.
Like the Giants held him for like 50, like I think it was like 43
Well,
yards
see, that's the
rushing.
thing.
I
There's
was
some
shocked.
there's
I
some
was
teams
shocked.
that can just hold him, but then there's games where he just goes off.
yeah,
So, what was your 5 again?
Derrick Henry.
Derrick
Derrick
Henry.
Henry.
I haven't went yet.
Oh, okay, sorry, I thought you
He's
just
never
You
did.
guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. Number 5, which I can debate. He can be a little higher on my
I
list.
think we got the same.
Austin Eckler. That dude is a great running back. I don't know if their situation with the Chargers is figured out. I know they had contract issues or whatever. I'm assuming he's obviously going to be back with them. But he's just a great dual threat running back. And I think
He had like 20 touchdowns last year, right?
I think so. Let's see.
Yeah.
No, 13
13 rushing, I
touchdowns.
believe.
Oh yeah, because that's not even counting receivers.
So I'm going to go
13.
ahead and just piggyback off Jared. My 5 was Austin Eckler as well. Obviously, a lot of people could say he's higher up on this list. He is a workhorse. He's done a lot for the LA organization. I do think they do need to pay him. I'm not saying set some crazy high market in terms of paying him a bunch of money. He does deserve quite a bit. Austin Eckler is at my 5. He can do it all, man. He can catch the ball, run the ball, versatility. He can block. It don't matter what you want him to do. He's going to get the job done.
And I feel like his stats don't speak loud enough for him because it didn't show he's yet to break 1,000 yards rushing.
That's just because his catching
receiving.
impact is insane.
Yeah,
for this.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I feel like just as a pure running back, he can definitely do that.
So he
Plus on top
had
of what
13 rushing touches.
And he had 722 receiving yards last year.
It's insane.
My number 5 is Antonio Gibson. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
we all know J.K. Dobbins. Right? Go ahead and say it.
My number 5 is Saquon Barkley. I mean, they've already kind of kind of shown light on what kind of player Saquon Barkley is, so I don't really need to say too much. Last year, or the last couple of years, the biggest concern for him was him always getting hurt, but he had a very healthy season last year, so we have to hope and pray that that happens again because Saquon on the field is a fun experience.
So also now at number 4, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So number 4, I'll go. I have Nick Chubb here. I really wanted to put him higher just because he's so consistent, and I did have him higher. But just thinking, like
That's funny.
dual threat. My top 3 are all dual threat running backs in my opinion. So he just barely misses. Like he could easily be top 3, but he barely misses it just because he doesn't catch the ball as much.
So you're saying Josh Jacobs is a true dual threat running back?
400 receiving yards last year. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I should have let this go off my list,
All right.
but I know we got a Raiders fan in here, so I put him on there just out of respect out of Dustin.
You're not gonna leave him off your list. You're
I have
Hell no.
Josh Jacobs.
At 4?
That's my 4 as well.
I know Alex kind of mentioned, what was it, inconsistency, or you want to see him repeat what he did last year?
Yeah, I do.
I think his stats kind of show that he's done that since 2019. He's damn near broke 1,000 yards every season.
Damn near.
Besides 2021, he had 800.
Okay.
But,
But last year was just, he set the bar so high for himself. That's why I'm like,
Okay, there's a reason why David walked away with Josh Jacobs like in the later rounds because he just wasn't highly touted, and so like this was the first year
yeah.
that.
But it's because
Jacobs,
his 2021 season was his down year.
I mean, but
Yeah.
still, I don't think he was a running back that anyone was looking at like anything like crazy. Like he was always been solid, and I'm not saying he sucked or anything, but he was always just like mid.
But he
not
was a
mid,
solid number 2.
above
He
average.
was a solid number 2.
But
for a
this
year.
last year, obviously, he went from above average to just being phenomenal.
Yeah,
so,
elite.
elite. So like, you just want to see him do it again, basically.
Because I almost had him in the top 5 for sure. Like I was just so.
I had him at 4 though. So.
My 4 is Saquon Barkley. I don't think it sounds too biased. I mean, if it was biased, I would have put him at like 2 or 3 or even 1. But I'm not gonna put him at that bar yet. Saquon Barkley's coming off a phenomenal year. I think he showed it last year. I think he's running a lot smarter and he knows how to stay on his feet and not like hit the ground so hard or get tied up with his knees. Saquon Barkley's at my 4. I think they're going to lean on him quite a bit again next year. They need to pay the man. I mean, I'm not saying nothing crazy, at least 13, 14, like for real. Like just give him the money. Give him the money. Saquon's at my 4. I mean, I think we already kind of discussed why he's in the top 10. So,
Hey,
Top
both
3?
of them.
all right, I want to start off top 3.
Time for top 3.
Top 3.
better relax.
My number 3 is Nick Chubb.
Whoa.
Why do you keep saying "whoa" every time
That's
someone's
Jared's
Nick Chubb?
number 1. I swear to
Nick
God.
Chubb.
Shut your mouth.
I swear.
Nick
Jared
and
is-
hey, I can understand why Nick Chubb.
Jared is a
if
Nick
he's at
Chubb
your 1.
lover.
One of the guys I was watching, he put Nick Chubb at his 1. Nick Chubb's at my 3 because he's a downhill runner. He's him or Derrick Henry, but Nick Chubb has, I think, a little bit up on him.
Yeah, for sure.
Physical running style. He has not missed at all since he's been in the league. Like, it's just like, it's crazy. I remember like LA Chargers, he had this one run where it's like he broke like 4 tackles and just got up the sideline. It's like, how do you do it? Nick Chubb's at my 3. I think the proof is in the pudding. I mean, I've picked him up on fantasy 2 years in a row as well.
Jared's you and Jared are gonna fight over Chubb this year. 'cause
Hey,
he's drafted Chubb like almost every year. I feel like
You just can't. like if you got like the 6th, 7th pick and Chubb's there, I'm like, dude, why are you not picking up?
I've
Nick
seen
Chubb?
what he's done to the AFC North. All right.
Yeah.
Huh?
Phenomenal.
I'm gonna go
You-
last. this
I know
one.
who you got.
Who goes 3?
Dude,
Me or
Josh
you or
Jacobs is
Brady?
at your 1.
My 3 is Derrick Henry.
I knew.
Whoa.
I have Derrick Henry at 3.
He's a king.
I mean, we know what he's all about. I had my doubts about him last year. I had a chance to draft him in fantasy, and I passed on him. I drafted Najee Harris, so I feel
Wow.
I was a stupid pick.
That's one person we all left off, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Unless Dustin has him at number 1.
Najee Harris, babe, bring
Yeah, Najee Harris, #1 pick.
So yeah, Derrick Henry. I mean, we all know what he's all about. He's so damn good. So yeah, he's my number 3.
All right. I
Who's
got the Anthony Thomas.
Wait, who?
What? You talking about the Oregon running back in the day?
He was a beast in college, dude.
He was. He was a
I
highlight
have
machine.
Dexter, but I have
No,
Dexter
who's your 3?
McCluster.
I got Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Brady, Brady.
Okay.
We've
All
already
right.
mentioned this guy enough, so we all know what he's
All
about,
right,
like Brady said.
so I'm just gonna go from my 3 to my 2 because I'm gonna make the argument for it. Number 3, I have Austin Eckler.
Respect it.
Main reason is because there was a little bit of drama.
He hasn't said Josh Jacobs yet, has he?
That's
No.
my number 2.
Oh my God.
That's my number 2.
Golly, that's
Okay.
It's a little biased. Would you say?
No,
It's biased.
It's a little biased.
It's very biased.
Listen. Eckler definitely had more touchdowns than Jacobs, right?
Yeah.
But rushing the ball, Jacobs is definitely better, and he showed improvement on catching the ball. So if he can just improve on that more, I think he could easily receive the ball as much as
he
Austin
okay.
Jacobs
He
is
did
good.
run the ball more, but I want to know how many carries did Josh Jacobs have?
way more because Eckler catches the ball way
340.
more.
Yeah, Austin Eckler had he had 136 less carries than him. So,
And how many receptions did they each have?
I'm sure Eckler's leading that by a margin, maybe.
receptions 50. No, he only had. Oh no, I'm
By
looking
a
at the
high
wrong one.
margin. I just said margin.
High margin.
He had a lot more. He had like 54 more. So
Who?
it makes
Jacob?
sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
receptions.
That's what
so it
Eckler
makes
does.
sense. Yeah, makes sense.
But that was your 3 and 2.
Yeah.
And do you have more to say about it, or
Just the proofs of the pudding with Jacobs. Watch him cook this year. Thank you.
What were you stirring up there?
The pudding.
start up the pot?
Crack
Some
pot?
thick pudding.
Yeah.
Thick footing there.
Yeah.
Some thick pudding.
It
All
was
right,
a
now
thick
this is their top 10 list going into next season, right?
Mm.
I should have put J.K. Dobbins on his list. As biased as you guys say it's gonna be, I should have done it just cause I have so much faith in that dude. And if he lets me down, God forbid I won't ever mention his name again.
Wait. So does Josh Jacobs really feel like that much of a biased pick, though?
They say because you put
At
him at
2,
But you guys
yeah.
put Austin
Yes.
Eckler a lot lower, though.
Eckler at 5.
Did
No,
I?
they put
Did
Chubb-
I
Not
put-
you. Not
did
you.
I put Eckler?
No.
They put Chubb a lot lower.
No,
I
he
put Chubb
did
at 3.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Oh, who's your 3?
We haven't done our 3.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb's
Yeah.
at
I just-
3.
I know we already done our 3. Mine was Derrick Henry.
Oh,
okay.
this is our 2.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
2,
Sorry.
yeah.
because I did 3 and 2.
The GOAT himself. The man, if he stayed healthy on the field all year round, he'd be the best running back in NFL history. CMC.
Damn.
He said history.
I think if he can stay healthy, for his
McCaffrey
whole-
is at 2.
what?
McCaffrey at 2?
Whoa.
That-
Yeah, CMC's at 2.
Wow. Okay.
Who the hell is at your 1?
Oh, it's Chubb. It's Nick Chubb.
It's Nick Chubb for
Oh,
sure.
you're so-
I did not say that yet.
Yeah,
All right.
It is Chubb.
So
I'm
who's
not-
your 2?
I
Number
already
2.
mentioned Chubb at 6.
No, you-
Shut up.
Austin Eckler is at my 2. We've talked about Eckler a lot here. He's just overall very impactful. Like I said, this list is based off everything you can do on the field, not just running the damn ball. So Eckler, to me, is one of the best running backs in that regard.
Okay. I mean, I think my 2 is pretty obvious.
I'm not sure, honestly.
It's-
CMC. Chubsters.
No,
He
he's at my
just said
3.
3.
Oh my
Derrick
God,
Henry's
dude.
at my 2.
Oh, yeah.
Derrick
Oh
Henry's
my
at my 2.
Gosh.
He's, oh my gosh.
I
I
think
think
you already said it.
no,
right?
Derrick
too.
Henry's at my 2. I mean, we can all argue and give our opinions on why he's 2, why he's 4, why he's 3, or whatever,
10.
whatever. Why he's what was he at for you?
I had
10?
3.
3. Derrick
at-
Henry is at my 2. I mean, coming off an ankle injury, 1,500 yards, makes the Titans' offense look phenomenal. He's like the centerpiece of it. I know he's getting a little older in age, but I still think he's going to do what he does. I mean, just give him the ball. He runs downhill. He's not doing all this cutting and moving and dancing. So it's honestly beneficial for him in the long run for his ligaments and
And as
tendons.
I said, like
So-
when I
Just
picked
wait.
Derrick Henry, is Anthony Richardson is gonna open up the field a lot for him. Like
Wait
I
till you
feel
meet
like-
your real D
What?
front.
Derrick
Wait,
Henry ain't playing
what?
with Anthony Richardson?
Wait, not Anthony Richardson. Fucking oh my god.
Will Levis,
Will
or
Levis.
Malik Willis,
Malik
whoever
Willis is
starts.
out.
No, it's
playing
gonna be
Will
Will
Levis right
Levis
now.
because I was thinking Will Levis because he says mobile. My bad. I was
Okay.
freaking. I think because they're both mobile quarterbacks.
So number one for everyone besides Jared.
Oh, hold
That's
on. Everybody, real
McCaffrey.
quick.
What's
Wait
your
till
one?
Derrick Henry meets a real D front. He ain't getting no fucking yards like that. Okay,
So Giants held him for 43 yards.
there you go. Ravens held him
We
for
have a
under
solid
50. I
D
think, in
line.
the playoffs.
I'm just kind of shit.
What's your one, Jared? We already know
Listen,
what it
this
is.
can be interchangeable.
Who's your one? Nick Chubb.
CMC.
You just said he's there too.
Listen,
Shut
it
up.
can be interchangeable. Him or
Say
Chubb.
Chubb and move on.
I got Nick Chubb.
That one.
Just get out JK, but I put Nick Chubb. I put Nick Chubb as an honorable mention.
What? Who's your one?
It's Chubb.
Okay. In our one, it's McCaffrey, right?
McCaffrey's my
Yeah.
one.
I mean, McCaffrey speaks for himself. That's assuming no injuries. He's such a good damn running back. But
Full season with San Francisco. Let Elijah Moore. Is it Elijah Moore, right?
Elijah Mitchell.
Elijah Mitchell. Sorry, I get them confused. Elijah Mitchell is going to help him stay reserved and more healthy.
Shit,
Kyle
last year he didn't do
Shanahan.
nothing.
Okay,
Moore?
so
Mitchell.
Mitchell.
He
More.
fucked up last year.
He was doing good until freaking
Fuck no, he played like a couple weeks and then he
he
just
got injured and
came
then
back and then got hurt again and then.
So as I said
came-
when we started, though, I felt like I had 23 guys that I wrote down that I thought could make an argument for being in the top 10.
real quick, one guy.
Travis Etienne.
yeah, that's one of them.
No, Joe Mixon for sure could have
Joe
made.
Mixon.
Joe Mixon's one of them.
Here's the names. Just tell me if you agree or disagree that like there's no way. Miles Sanders.
Yes,
No.
Panthers.
for sure.
No.
I don't see him top 10.
J.K. Dobbins.
No.
Yes.
Joe Mixon.
In a healthy
Yeah.
season, yes.
Yes.
Joe Mixon, absolutely. I left off Tony Pollard, which is crazy.
I did
That's
too.
crazy.
I know.
Dustin,
I
did you
felt
even
bad
have
for
him?
doing it.
Yeah.
What number?
He was my number.
Don't switch him
7.
now.
No,
Another guy that got hurt last
Hey,
year, Damian Pierce. He was having a great year.
yeah, and he'd be up there for me.
Javonte Williams also.
No.
I mean, he was supposed to be really good until he got hurt. Like very
Oh,
early.
supposed to be improving it is different.
Okay. Travis Etienne we mentioned.
yeah.
I almost wanted to put Alexander Madison in there somewhere.
No, that's a hot
That's just-
topic one.
That's kind of what you just said. He has to be proven as
It's a
a
hot
number
take
one
for
running
sure.
back.
Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah.
Last year, he
Top-
showed so much upside, in my opinion. He became a PPR machine. So the fact that, like, when he first got in the league, he had no ability other than just run the damn ball. But last year, he became a dump-off target for Mac Jones, turned into a bunch of yards. So if Ramondre Stevenson is given the keys, because Damian Harris is also gone, I think he could be very good this year. And I was able to trade for him last year, which is why I'm a
which
little
was
biased
ridiculous.
about it. I love Ramondre Stevenson. DeAndre Swift. I've been a big DeAndre Swift lover, but even though we said, assuming no injuries, he's on the Eagles now. Not really sure what it's going to look like. I've drafted Swift the last 2 years, and this year I don't know if I can do it again. Najee Harris, another one that I felt decent about, but I just left him off. He kind of was disappointing last year a little bit. He kind of turned it up a little bit towards the end. Kenneth Walker, Dustin had on his list, I believe. Rashad White on the Buccaneers.
Mm.
So-
I gotta see
Yeah,
more.
I gotta see him more. Yeah.
yeah, those are some names that I left off though, and I felt it could have made an argument for maybe being in the top 10 of running back. But there's a heavy running back pool for sure this year. I feel like
So let's just hear it. You guys all hate my list because Jacobs is number 2.
no,
I don't hate it.
dude. To be honest, I don't know if I can sit here and hate anyone's list because the running back it's just like it was so interchangeable to me. I don't know for whatever reason, wide receiver felt a lot easier, which I thought would not be the case.
It honestly, like, I don't mind. Alex's reasoning for putting him at number 6 was fine, but honestly, it relieved me a lot when Jared and Brady both had him at 4 because I was like, me putting him up 2 spots. I mean, like 4 is like all these players like you can easily see being the best. So
We
Yeah.
don't
I
hate
was
your
like,
list, but we want you to
mean,
delete
like-
it from your phone immediately.
Maurice Jones-Drew did a top 5, and he had Jacobs at his 5. So like it's like 4, 5, 6. It's a pretty good slot. I can get why people put him out 4 all day of the week. At 2, that is pushing.
I think
it.
he's
That
number,
is
I think he's
pushing
number
it.
3 minimum.
You guys didn't like
that's how I
Gibbs?
looked at it.
No, I did not like
No.
that pick at all. I'm
Well,
gonna be honest.
remember
Keep Dalvin
Dalvin Cook
Cook
was
as
at
your
8.
pick there. So
Well, that's wild. You didn't have, but you didn't even mention Dalvin Cook.
Well, I told you I didn't put him
Yeah,
on there
no,
because
but
he's
it's
not
so
on
crazy.
a roster.
I don't give a damn if he ain't on a team. That should be on your list.
If he was on a roster, he would have been on the list.
Okay, so he's on the Vikings right now. Where is he at?
At least 7. for
at
him.
least 7. Yeah.
Yeah, he probably kicks off Bijan Robinson.
Okay.
Something like that. But anything else you guys want to add before we sign off here
Is
today?
it almost a season yet?
Hey man, we're in the midst of July, and then we'll have August, and then isn't there preseason football in September?
Yeah, we can make preseason
Or no,
bets.
is there preseason in August?
I think it's in August.
It's in
Yeah,
August, yeah.
because
Oh yeah, so
football
we're
starts in
literally a month
September.
away.
Yeah.
Because
We're
the
gonna-
first week of the NFL season is always in September.
Are we gonna do
September
preseason
12th.
predictions?
Yeah, we got to do something. Right?
Preseason prediction. You got me
Preseason,
fucked
sorry.
up.
Yeah, let's predict preseason.
I think the Raiders are gonna blow this team out preseason record 4-0. Jared's like, we go 4-0 every season in
We
preseason.
do. We have
So-
the best preseason record
when the
ever in
season
NFL.
when the season starts, I want to kick it up to twice a week on here though, because there's gonna be a lot to talk
You
about.
guys hear that? Twice a week.
But I think that's going to do it for us today. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. We'll be back next week. As always, this is In the Slant saying peace.